The boy who once used newspaper as cricket pads just bought a company for 1.5 billion rupees. Here's how Aravinda de Silva became richer than most cricket legends combined. March 17, 1996. Lahore Stadium. Sri Lanka needs 118 more runs to win their first ever Cricket World Cup. The pressure is crushing. Pakistani bowlers are firing thunderbolts. Then walks in Aravinda de Silva. Nobody knew that just hours before this match, he received devastating news that would have broken most men. His father was lying in a hospital bed, fighting for his life. Team management hid this from him, but word leaked out. So when Aravinda stepped onto that field, he wasn't just playing for Sri Lanka, he was playing for a dying father who taught him cricket in their tiny backyard. But let me take you back 20 years earlier. Picture a skinny kid in Colombo, wrapping old newspapers around his legs because his family couldn't afford real cricket pads. His father earned just 2,000 rupees a month as a government clerk. Cricket bats cost 500 rupees, a quarter of the family's monthly income. So young Aravinda made do with a cracked bat passed down from his cousin. Every evening after school, he would practice alone against their house wall until his mother called him for dinner. The neighbors complained about the constant thud of ball hitting brick, but Aravinda didn't care. He had a dream that seemed impossible for a poor boy from Colombo. His first cricket coach, Mr. Pereira, later revealed something shocking. Aravinda was actually rejected from his school cricket team twice. The captain said he was too weak and his technique was all wrong. Most boys would have given up. But Aravinda did something extraordinary. He started waking up at 4 a.m. every morning to practice in the local park before school. For 6 months he practiced alone in the dark, using a street lamp as his only light. His dedication was so intense that security guards started calling him the Ghost Boy, because they would see this small figure practicing cricket before sunrise every single day. The breakthrough came when he was 17. A talent scout accidentally discovered him during one of these early morning sessions. The scout was jogging through the park when he saw this teenager hitting perfect shots in semi-darkness. He stopped and watched for an hour, amazed by the boy's technique and determination. That chance encounter changed everything. Within 6 months, Aravinda was selected for Sri Lanka's under-19 team. But success came with new pressure that nearly destroyed him. Here's what nobody talks about. The night before his first international match in 1984, 19-year-old Aravinda had a complete breakdown. His roommate found him at 3 a.m. sitting on the bathroom floor, crying and shaking uncontrollably. He was convinced he would embarrass himself and his family. The fear was so intense that he called his father begging to come home. His father said just 7 words that changed his life forever. Champions are born in moments of fear. The next day, Aravinda scored 48 runs in his debut match, and never looked back. But the early years were brutal. Between 1985 and 1990, cricket experts called him inconsistent. Newspapers wrote that he was wasting his talent. The Sri Lankan Cricket Board almost dropped him 5 times. During this dark period, Aravinda made a secret decision that he hid from everyone for 20 years. While his teammates partied after matches, he enrolled in night business classes. His teammates thought he was just improving his English. But Aravinda was actually studying commerce, economics and business management. He was preparing for life after cricket because he was terrified his career could end any moment. This fear proved smart. In 1993, Sri Lanka lost a home series against Australia badly. Aravinda scored only 37 runs in 4 matches. The media destroyed him. Headlines called him finished and a burden on the team. That night, sitting alone in his small apartment, Aravinda made 2 phone calls that changed his destiny. First, he called his girlfriend Anushka and told her he was thinking of quitting cricket. She said something that shocked him. "Quitting is easy, proving them wrong is hard. What kind of man are you? The second call was to a mysterious businessman who had been watching his career closely. This man, whose name Aravinda has never revealed, gave him advice that became his life philosophy: use pain as fuel, not poison. Everything changed after that conversation. Aravinda transformed himself completely. He hired a sports psychologist, something unheard of in Sri Lankan cricket back then. He changed his diet, his training routine, and even his batting technique. More importantly, he started keeping detailed notes about every bowler he faced, every field position, every weakness he could exploit. His teammates nicknamed him the Professor, because he analyzed cricket like a business problem. This obsessive preparation would soon create history. The 1996 World Cup started with Sri Lanka being given 50-1 odds to win. Bookmakers were offering better odds on aliens landing than Sri Lanka winning the tournament. The cricket world saw them as easy target, but what nobody knew was that Aravinda had spent the previous year secretly working with that mysterious businessman mentor, learning corporate strategy and pressure management technique. He was applying business lessons to cricket, treating each match like a high-stakes board meeting where preparation meant everything. Then came that magical day in Lahore, with Sri Lanka needing 118 more runs and losing wickets. Aravinda walked in during the most pressure-filled moment in Sri Lankan cricket history. But here's the untold story that will give you chill. Just before he went out to bat, a team official accidentally revealed that his father had suffered a heart attack and was in intensive care. The management had planned to tell him after the match, but word leaked out. For the first 30 minutes of his innings, Aravinda was batting not just for the World Cup, but knowing his father might be dying while he played the most important match of his life. What happened next was pure magic. Aravinda didn't just score 107 not out, he played shots that defied physics. He hit boundaries with surgical precision, played strokes that cricket coaches said were impossible, and showed calmness that seemed superhuman. Every shot was dedicated to his hospitalized father. When he hit the winning boundary, he didn't celebrate immediately. Instead, he looked up at the sky, tears streaming down his face, and whispered, "This is for you, Dad." His father, watching from his hospital bed in Colombo with oxygen tubes in his nose, later said that seeing his son lift the World Cup gave him the strength to fight back to health. But winning the World Cup was just the beginning of Aravinda's most incredible transformation. While the cricket world expected him to enjoy his success, he was secretly building something much bigger. Using his World Cup prize money and match fees, he quietly started investing in businesses around Colombo. His first investment shocked everyone: a failing textile factory that was 3 months away from bankruptcy. People thought he had lost his mind. Why would a cricket hero waste money on a dying business? But Aravinda saw what others missed. He spent 3 months at that factory, learning every detail about textile manufacturing, supply chains and financial management. He worked alongside factory workers, understanding their problems and finding solutions. Within 18 months, he had turned the company profitable. When he sold his stake 2 years later, he made 3 times his original investment. This success gave him something more valuable than money. It gave him confidence that he could succeed beyond cricket. While still playing international cricket, Aravinda was secretly building a business empire. He invested in undervalued real estate in areas of Colombo that others ignored. His strategy was simple but brilliant: buy assets that others overlooked, apply the same analytical approach that made him a cricket champion, and never invest money he couldn't afford to lose. By 2000, his property investments were worth more than his cricket earning. The transition from cricket to business wasn't easy. When Aravinda retired from international cricket in 2003, many business leaders questioned whether a sportsman could succeed in the corporate world. His first major business deal almost collapsed because the other party didn't believe he understood financial complexities. To prove them wrong, Aravinda did something extraordinary. He spent 4 months studying every aspect of the deal, consulting with lawyers, accountants, and industry experts, until he knew more about the transaction than anyone else involved. When he walked into that final negotiation meeting, he presented a 50-page analysis that left everyone speechless. The deal was signed that day. This obsessive preparation became his trademark in business, just like it had been in cricket. When companies invited him to join their boards, they expected a ceremonial appointment, a famous face to attract attention. Instead, they got a strategic thinker, who arrived at meetings with detailed market research, competitor analysis, and growth recommendations. Board members who initially saw him as just a cricket celebrity quickly realized he was a genuine businessman. The real breakthrough came in 2008, when Aravinda identified a massive opportunity that others missed. Sri Lanka's plantation industry was struggling with declining tea prices and old equipment. Most investors were running away from agriculture, but Aravinda saw potential where others saw problems. He invested heavily in plantation companies, not as a silent partner, but as an active contributor to modernization and diversification. His approach was revolutionary, applying modern business practices to traditional agriculture, while expanding into ecotourism and sustainable farming. By 2015, industry insiders estimated Aravinda's business portfolio was worth over 5 billion rupees. He had stakes in real estate development, financial services, manufacturing and agriculture, but he maintained complete privacy about his wealth, preferring results over publicity. His investment philosophy had evolved beyond just making money. He genuinely wanted to create businesses that would provide jobs and contribute to Sri Lanka's economic growth. The most dramatic moment came during the 2020 pandemic when global markets crashed. While others were selling assets and cutting losses, Aravinda saw the biggest opportunity of his lifetime. He used the crisis to acquire distressed assets at bargain prices, particularly in hospitality and tourism sector. His bet was simple: Sri Lanka's tourism industry would eventually recover, and when it did, he would be positioned to profit massively. This contrarian approach, buying when others were selling, reflected the same fearless mentality that made him hit winning shots under pressure. The world got a glimpse of Aravinda's true wealth in 2024 when news broke about his participation in the 1.56 billion rupee acquisition of Ambion Capital P. This transaction revealed him not just as a wealthy former cricketer, but as a sophisticated investor capable of participating in deals worth billions. Financial analysts calculated that to participate in such a massive transaction, his personal net worth must exceed what most Sri Lankan cricketers earn in their entire careers combined. Today, at 59, Aravinda de Silva lives a luxury lifestyle that would amaze his childhood neighbor. His main residence in Colombo's most exclusive area is worth over 500 million rupees, featuring a private cricket ground where he still practices occasionally. His car collection includes a Mercedes S-Class, BMW X7, and a vintage Jaguar that he bought as a tribute to his World Cup victory. He travels first class internationally and stays in 5-star hotels, but those close to him say he remains humble and generous. His business day starts at 5 a.m., the same time he used to wake up for cricket practice as a teenager. He reviews market reports over breakfast, attends board meetings throughout the day, and still finds time to mentor young cricketers in the evening. His office walls display cricket trophies alongside business awards, reminding visitors that success can take many forms. He employs over 500 people across his various businesses and has quietly funded education for more than 100 underprivileged children. The luxury extends beyond material possession. Aravinda has access to exclusive clubs, private events, and elite social circles that most people can only dream about. He's been invited to dine with presidents, attend private concerts by international artists, and participate in high-level business forums across Asia. Yet friends say he's most comfortable in simple settings, sharing stories about cricket or discussing business ideas with young entrepreneurs. Recent challenges have tested his empire. Sri Lanka's economic crisis in 2022 affected many of his investments, But his diversified approach and long-term perspective helped him weather the storm better than most. He adapted quickly, focusing on businesses that could generate foreign currency and creating employment during difficult times. His plantation investments proved especially valuable as international demand for Sri Lankan tea remained strong despite local economic problems. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Aravinda's success is how he uses his wealth to give back. He quietly funds cricket academies in rural areas, provides scholarships for talented young players, and supports retired cricketers who face financial difficulties. His philosophy is simple: cricket gave him everything, so he has a responsibility to ensure future generations have better opportunities than he did. Last year alone, he spent over 50 million rupees on cricket development programs that most people don't even know about. His induction into the ICC Cricket Hall of Fame in 2023 was more than just recognition of cricket achievements. It was acknowledgement of how he had elevated Sri Lankan cricket's global profile and proved that athletes could successfully transition to other fields. Standing on that stage in London, receiving his Hall of Fame award, Aravinda represented not just cricket excellence, but the power of continuous reinvention and lifelong learning. The transformation from newspaper pads to billion-rupee deals seems impossible, but Aravinda's journey proves that with the right mindset, anything is achievable. His success wasn't built on luck or connections. It was earned through decades of hard work, smart decisions, and an unwavering commitment to excellence in whatever field he entered. He approached business with the same analytical mind and fearless attitude that made him a cricket legend. Looking at Aravinda today, it's clear that his greatest victory wasn't the 1996 World Cup. It was proving that athletes can succeed at the highest levels in multiple fields. He didn't just rely on cricket fame to open business doors, he earned his place through competence, preparation and results. His story challenges the stereotype that successful athletes struggle after retirement. Instead, he shows that the same qualities that create sporting champions can create business success too. The boy who once practiced cricket in darkness using street lamplight now makes business decisions in boardrooms worth billions. The teenager who was rejected from his school team twice now sits on corporate boards advising companies on strategy and growth. The young man who feared failure so much that he studied business secretly while playing cricket now owns businesses that employ hundreds of people and contribute millions to Sri Lanka's economy. As Aravinda approaches 60, his story continues evolving. New business ventures, fresh investments, and ongoing contributions to cricket development show that retirement isn't in his vocabulary. He remains as hungry for success today as he was when practicing alone in that park before sunrise 40 years ago. The luxury lifestyle he enjoys now represents not just material success, but proof that dreams backed by relentless effort can exceed even the most ambitious expectations. The most inspiring part of Aravinda's journey isn't the wealth he accumulated or the luxury he enjoys. It's the example he sets for anyone willing to work harder than everyone else around them. His transformation from struggling cricketer to business mogul proves that success isn't limited by your starting point, your family's wealth or society's expectation. It's determined by your willingness to prepare when others relax, to learn when others assume they know enough, and to take calculated risks when others play it safe. Subscribe now to discover more untold stories of sports legends who built empires beyond their playing careers. You won't believe what your favorite athletes are doing behind the scenes.